HydroShield. And how are you, Noel?
I'm good this morning. Thank you.
He's been sitting here so patiently, and he adds better comments than Joe in between doing the breaks, I noticed.
Stop with the bell, man.
Don't make me laugh.
We need a new operator. I mean, he's been talking. He's been ringing the bell more.
I think he's
we got to work this. We got to work through this situation.
Okay. Anyway, Noel and his wife Carmen are part of the business HydroShield. HydroShield. That's one of those interesting businesses you can't tell by the title what in the world it is.
That's a true statement.
So why don't you tell us?
Well, what HydroShield is it's a hydrophobic sealer for natural stones and glass. There's
what does hydro mean?
It is to repel water.
Okay, I thought so, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a really interesting website, and I went through and I looked through it. And before we dig in, because I got two questions for you, because I got some problems at my home, and I want to see if you can help me solve them. Right?
Okay.
But let's back up.
This is how Joe uses the show, by the way.
How did you get into this business? Talk a little bit about how you got into this.
Well, I have always enjoyed owning businesses. Back in the 90s, I owned a franchise with Snap-on Tools.
Oh, yeah.
My resume is, I tell my kids I'm a jack of all trades and master of none. Mm-hmm. But in reality, though, sales and dealing with people is probably my strong point. I have been working for corporate America here for the last 10, 11 years, and that's what brought us to North Carolina from Texas. And I was just having that itch to own a business again. So a couple of years ago, I started looking for what we could possibly do. And my wife, she wanted to join me in this business venture. So I would find things, and she would find problems with it and say, "No, I don't like that. I don't think that's going to work."
Smart woman.
She is. She really is. And finally, I guess it was probably about October of 2013, I came across the HydroShield, and it looked like a really interesting venture. So I researched it, and I couldn't find anything wrong with it. I said, I think I found the one. I turned it over to her. I said, here you go. Try to find what you can. And she couldn't. And so she referred it to my sister, who loves
the
to
skeptic of the family.
Oh my goodness! Yes, she wears
which is great. This is a great process.
Hat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep, she wears that hat very well, but she couldn't find anything either. So I was like, okay, I think I got a green light here. So I pursued it, and in January of 2014, we went to training. We did all the paperwork, bought the business, went to training, and came back. Did a home show in Charlotte towards the end of February, and then. Been going.
What, Carmen? Let's talk a little bit about that, because
he's Noel. Carmen's his wife.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My better half is
Noel.
Carmen.
I'm sorry. Hey, Carmen. I know she's listening.
I hope so.
Might be. I think she's getting her son.
She might be working,
school.
Right? Somebody's got to work.
Yeah.
Noel, do I have that right?
Yes,
Noel?
you do. Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because you flippantly said, and I decided to be self-employed, but there really is this calculated risk, this challenge of leaving the corporate world and taking care of your family and the security of a check coming on Friday, to doing this and not knowing when that first check is coming. Right. How did you finally make that choice to do that? Because it's not an easy choice to make.
It isn't. I think back to the day when I decided to go into the Snap-on business. Before that, I was in the hotel business for 11 years. And to get into the tool business, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Snap-on tools, but I just decided this is what I was going to do. So I just dug in, learned as much as I could, and whenever I got in front of my customers, which was every day, I let them know. If I didn't know something, I'd find out for them what the answer was.
Right.
And oftentimes I'd say, well, what are you working on? What are you doing? How are you doing it? And that's how I learned. But it was a sink or swim situation, and we talked about fear,
right?
Not letting it get in the way.
Every day before you go to bed, and every day when you wake up.
Yep. And so just you know, my sister was like, oh, you can't quit your job yet. And I said, I'm ready to. And she's like, no, you can't. You've got to have 18 months of money set aside, and you don't know. I'm like, I'm going for it.
See, there's a good mentor there. Good one to bounce things off of, for
Well,
sure.
you mentioned two things that you think you're really good at, and that is really interesting that you know what they are. But let's expand on that, because there's a lot of small business people listening that they're not sure whether their skills actually transfer into small business. When you say, I'm good at sales, so you felt like if you found the product that was good, you felt like you had the skills necessary to actually sell the product and close the deal. Am I interpreting that correctly when you say sales?
That is correct. And the one thing that I get passionate about what I'm selling, and because I truly believe in what it is. And that's something that Carmen reminds us all the time. And she uses our kitchen as a test bed for what homeowners shouldn't be doing on their granite countertops. And it scares me. I'm like, that's our investment. But she's like, hey, I got to do this, because if I don't, I can't tell my customers what or not to do.
Right.
So...
You know, I know Noah a little bit, and this action to overcome fear is definitely something that you have, and you're working hard at it, and I've been really impressed with your effort.
Thank
But
you.
You've got, getting at the sales side, I mean, what's interesting about your business is that you provide a service that is perhaps not something that everyone knows they need. And so, you know, natural stone countertops and things like that. There are
The
things-
education of that is challenging.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different sales and marketing effort than it is if you sold car
Yeah,
insurance.
you're right.
Everyone needs it. It's a question of how you've got something better than the other guy. In his case, he has to let people know why, and there are a lot of really good reasons that I've learned why. So, you know, why should people be concerned? Because you provide sealant for natural stone countertops. Why should they want it?
Well, when they decide on installing, you know, a countertop made out of granite or marble, for example, they know that it's in most cases, and this is something that, Wayne, you've pointed out to me, is that I can't assume that people know what this is about. And you know, but in some instances, when they're getting involved either with these natural stones, they know that it's a porous surface, that bacteria can grow in it if it's not sealed properly. The issue that I've come up against is that most granite and marble fabrication shops do apply a sealer to these surfaces once they install it. What I have found is that sealer typically will only last anywhere from 6 months to a year. So then putting it back on the homeowner to come in and continue to do that resealing every year to continue to protect that surface. With the advantage of HydroShield is that we could come in, do the application that one time, and then it's going to carry a warranty with it that it's going to last. For example, on granite, it'll last at least 15 years.
Wow. Because so you might have just answered the first question I had for you, which is, you know, I've got this little bottle of stuff and I'll wipe it on my granite countertops from time to time. What's the difference? I can just pull that out and do that every month or whatever. What's the difference between that and what you do?
Well, the sealers do vary in how they work. All sealers are going to penetrate into the pores, right? What separates HydroShield, what makes it different, is that it also leaves a breathable membrane on the surface. So it actually does a better job of holding anything you spill on the countertops. It holds it up on the surface so that it makes it easier for the homeowner or for yourself to come up and just wipe it with just a towel. And a damn towel is what I use at home.
Right.
No need to use harsh chemicals anymore when I'm cleaning our granite countertop at home.
Now, can you hand Joe just a bottle of this stuff and let him wipe it on? I'd love to watch him do that.
So the application is interesting.
Yeah, well, that's where our service comes in. Not only are we providing the sealer, but we also do the application. We've been trained by the manufacturer, who's based in Salt Lake City, Utah. They've trained us on how to do the proper application and also how to determine what the surfaces are and what it's going to do. What you could find in your big box retailers typically is just a very basic, I call it a temporary sealer, because you're going to have to do it every so often, just like your
Right,
one.
sure.
You're saying, well, do I have to do it every few months or every year? And that's what we find. And we've just from our conversations with homeowners, they don't want to keep doing this every year.
Right.
So that's
Now, before we let you go, something that's dear to my heart is your glass work, because we've all see these shower glass things that are all scummy and crappy, and
Right.
you take care of that, and you not only clean it but keep it from happening, or what is it you do for glass of something like that?
Well, we have the ability. We have some very good proprietary products from HydroShield that allow us to remove that buildup that's happened over time. Regardless of how well you're maintaining that glass, you're going to have the buildup, because that's the minerals that's left behind and the soap scum. So, for years we've heard the comment, oh, it's as smooth as glass. But when you truly look at glass under a microscope, you're going to see a lot of peaks and valleys. And that's where everything's getting hung up on. So what the sealer does, it actually does put a topical layer on that glass that will make it very smooth and make it much easier to wipe off. And, for years down the road, you're not going to see that buildup.
Okay.
So,
Now I'm going to ask my second question.
Okay.
Wayne kind of hit on it. I've got glass all on the side of my home, and my home is 30 years old. So I've got these like watermarks in my sliding glass doors that I can't get up. The Windex is not doing it, man. It's just not doing it.
Yeah. Well,
Can you take care of that, or you just sealing whatever is there?
No, we would have to take a look at that. When you mentioned the sliding glass doors, you may have a problem where the seal between the glass has broken and moisture has gotten in there. But if it's on the surface of the glass, let's say it's facing outside and it's getting exposed to rain and waters from sprinklers, we can clean that and remove all that buildup over time, and then seal it so that sealer will prevent that from happening going into.
But when you say clean it, I mean, I get a window cleaner that comes twice a year. Are you doing something different than what the window cleaner's doing?
We have a very good, and it's really surprised us how well it works. It's a proprietary product that we use to remove that buildup. And we've had some very tough glass.
Oh, I got
already.
a tough one for you.
Okay.
Oh, I got one for you. Believe me. Okay.
Joe's
Now,
always got something like that.
will you stop, man?
Is that how we ended up with that awesome Amish chair?
Exactly.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
jealous. It is
He's working. He's working to get you to
Wayne?
come in and do it for nothing. That's what he's working for.
just try and get the bell to be rung. Did you see what he just tried to do?
That's why I like
Rookie,
Noel.
you cannot allow a guest to control that bell. Unbelievable.
The bell
That's a
is our
first.
friend.
Hey, Noel.
Whoa. Hey. I'm not done yet.
God forbid I get a chance to say something.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
Just sit there and be quiet. Next thing, I got a smoking room. We call it the lodge. Okay. It's all glass. Now, I don't have to tell you. You get 8, 9 of my buddies in there smoking cigars, we get a film on that glass.
Right.
So if you were to put this product on there, would it make it easier to clean? Because when I clean those windows, it's going to take me about 615 times to get those windows clean. Can you help me with that?
That one I can definitely help you
There
with.
you go. I see the smile in his eyes. You're going to make that easy for me.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, good. That's good
HydroShield of
enough.
North Carolina. How do they get hold of you, Noel?
Well, they can reach us at 844-HDR-SHLD, which is our phone number. My wife
Clever.
doesn't like that I did that, but I just thought, hey,
Salesman must have gotten involved with that phone number.
Yeah. So, or our website, which is www.hydroshieldnc.com.
Yeah, I agree with your wife. 844-437-7453. I agree. You got some smart women around you. You know? What advice would you give a small business person thinking about getting started in a business? What would you advise them?
Well, number one is just research it. Look at all angles. Get mentors around you who can help you make decisions, because in a lot of instances it's emotional for yourself, because you know if fear isn't getting in the way, you're like, hey, I can do this. I can overcome this. But just research it. have good people around you to help you figure out if it's a good thing or not. And really think about, is it something that you can see yourself doing 10, 15 years down the road?
Right. It's funny. I tell clients all the time, if you're not a little scared, you probably don't know everything you should know. Keep
Yeah.
looking.
That
Thank you, my
that
friend.
fear thing is real.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you.